You have to be a little bit careful because we are producing now. So
yeah.
So here we are in our production room.
We're in Basel in Switzerland to meet Unser Bier, a brewery founded in 1998 by some home brewers in response to most of the breweries in Switzerland being owned by Carlsberg or Heineken, and there being very few local regional producers. The brewery started as a home brewer in a spaghetti pat, and then obviously it's grown to the biggest brewery in Basel.
We were lucky. So we started at the right time with brewing, and the people, they supported us from the beginning. We have a very special business model.
Yeah.
Because we sell some shares, and now we have over 10,000 shareholders. But they don't get some bonus in money. They get the bonus in beer.
Yeah.
And so you have 10,000 shareholders and also 10,000 customers.
When did you open this tap room?
In 2010. 2010 we moved from the original place where we started. It's close to this place, about 500 meters. Then we grew, and then we had to search for a bigger place, and we're lucky that we found this place. And in 2010 we moved to this place, and in 2010 we started with this tap room. Or it's not like a tap room, it's more like a small restaurant or event room, because we are only opened one day a week on Wednesday, and the other days there are sometimes there are events like birthday parties or weddings.
90% of your output is two of your core beers, your amber lager and your blonde export lager.
We started with amber. It's a dark one, but then we recognized, the people they like the amber beer, but you need some more, a pale one. So we started with the blonde one, and then but it's I think there's industrial lager and there is handmade lager, and there's a difference because we don't use hop extract. And we invested a lot of work the last years to make our blonde, our lager beer better. So when I started 14 years ago, we just added one sort of hop. It was the Perle, and now we have 4 different sort of hops we add. So it developed. Here is our brew house, 2,000 liters.
Okay, and are the big ones exclusively for your 2 core beers, or?
No, we also use it for our IPA and our wheat beer, Bavarian wheat beer, and for some seasonal beers like summer beer or winter beer or wet top beer. These are the fermentation tanks. Welcome. Our small brew house, 100 liter, for some experiments.
Cool. So what kind of experimental stuff do you do on it?
Every kind.
Okay.
Every kind. So we did some years ago, we did some wasabi here.
Okay.
So we try everything with different ingredients. Then here are our storage lager tanks. We do a traditional 2-tank system, main fermentation, and then storage there.
Okay, cool.
Big tank there is the lager and the Unser Bier. In smaller one we have the wheat beer or summer beer. And we have storage time is about 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
We don't have a filter. All beers are not filtered. No. This is for our water, brew water, hot brew water. For us, it's sometimes it's a little bit difficult. The craft beer. I don't know the English word. Begriff. Type. Craft. We are local. We're a regional brewery.
Yeah.
So in Switzerland, don't say we're craft. We're there's the German word is called handwerklich, handmade beer. Because we don't do so. Don't do these styles, the American styles of beer so much. Our main style are lager, amber, and wheat beer, more the typical German styles. And only a small batches of typical craft beer.
Do you think there's any differences between the beer brewed in Switzerland to those brewed in Bavaria, or are they very similar?
No, they're at the beginning when I start brewing in Switzerland, they were very different. Because Swiss beers were Swiss lager beer. It was not so hoppy like a Bavarian export lager at this time. But now the Bavarian Helles loses his bitterness in the last years. So, from I think maybe 22 IBUs to 18. So, and this is Swiss style lager.
Do you experiment with different lager styles often?
We cannot experiment so much with our blonde one. Sometimes we make an extra batch for a seasonal beer, and then we can experiment to make like our Fasnacht Carnival beer, the violet one. This is lager beer and dry hopped. This is an experiment. But I don't like the dry hopped beer blonde so much. I like more the traditional style, but because it's so easy one, but you have to be accurate. You have to be on point with these beers.
You have to get it exactly right, really good technically.
Exactly.
And the German purity law in brewing, has that influenced the Swiss brewing a lot?
Swiss beer is more free, but we are influenced by this purity law from Germany. So most of our beers are brewed in order to this Reinheitsgebot. But for example, our summer beer, we add some elderflower. It's not Reinheitsgebot. Now you see our filling line. We run the once or 2 times a week. Depends on the season. In the summertime, more with the times. Yes. And there it could be our gas. Okay. There we can fill about 35 kegs an hour. And there we can fill about 5,500 bottles an hour. There's not so much automatic. So there you can see this one from the box. You put out bottles, this, and then you take the bottle, the box, put it there. This is all manpower. We have in Basel there is a small festival, a regional beer festival. It's called Beer Market. It's always in the end of August. I think they started in 2011, 2012 with this beer market, and then there we are show only prototypes, and these prototypes we do in our small brew house, and they're really experiments, like some chili imperial stout we had some years ago, or vanilla wheat bock, Belgian style of beers, like triple.
Do you experiment with Belgian styles a lot?
Sometimes we had some experiments. We some weeks ago we had here on Beer of the Month we had a Belgian blonde. So Belgian yeast, Belgian style, not so hoppy.
You also mentioned that you like to experiment with different styles. Is there any particular?
So we can't do some sours here because it's too dangerous for our main types of beer. So maybe this would be fun to make some wild things, but we can experiment with different hops. We can experiment with different herbs. Because, for example, we do a summer beer. It's maybe it's a lager, very light lager, about 4% alcohol and about 15 IBUs. But we add some elderflowers when we boiling the wort, then we add some elderflowers, and then it has a typical aroma of fresh elder. Like some people drink it and think, oh, you did some elder syrup, but it's now there's no syrup in it. It's only the aromas from the elderflowers. So and it's very popular. This is your malt storage room. There is the milk. David is put in the malt there.
What are you brewing today?
Sorry?
What are you brewing today?
Today we brew blonde. And we brew two batches a day normally, because takes about 16 hours for two batches. Or two brews, I think. Okay. Our malt, different sort.
Do you source your malt mainly from Switzerland?
No, we buy malt mainly from Bavaria, South Germany, because in Switzerland there were no malt companies years ago. Last year there were founded one, and 2 or 3 years ago another. I think there are only 2 companies who produce malt in Switzerland. But we work with one of them, but they cannot deliver so much more as we need for our beers. So we did one special beer with only Swiss ingredients. Because our hops are 100% Swiss hops.
Do you have house yeast?
No, we don't have a house yeast. We import it from mainly from Germany, but also from a Belgian producer.
Do you import the hops from America, or do you grow the American style hops in Switzerland?
At the beginning, we imported it, hops from America. Then we imported some hops from Germany, because they also do the American hops like Cascade or I don't know. And for some years ago they developed some new hops called flavor hops, but they're very close to the American hops. And for some years ago our hop farmer started to grow American sorts like Cascade, Centennial, but also German sorts like Saphir, Hallertauer Tradition. So we brew with 100% Swiss hops, but the Swiss Cascade is very different to the American Cascade because of the terroir. It's totally different.
So do these sort of American style IPAs and pales that you create have sort of a distinctive Swiss flavour?
Yes, but not really Swiss flavor, more because of the hops. We don't have these fruity flavors in our Cascade. It's fruity, but it's not so fruity as a Cascade from Vakima Valley. So it's more herbal style.
Yeah, thanks. That's
good.
Great.
Danke dir.